All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something pretty crazy today. The whole Hawk Tuah Girl crypto thing. Did any of you guys get caught up in that?
Oh, the JJK coin debacle. Yeah, I follow that whole saga pretty closely.
A lot of our listeners requested a deep dive on this one, and honestly, I can see why. It's got everything. Internet fame, meme coins, lawsuits. It's a wild ride.
Definitely a cautionary tale for the age of influencers and online investing.
Exactly. So let's start from the top. For anyone who might not be familiar with her, Hawk Tuah Girl, real name Haley Welch, blew up online last year.
Right, that whole Hawk Tuah catchphrase thing.
Yeah, I mean, that video went viral. She became this huge influencer, started a podcast, even landed some brand deals.
It seemed like she was really building a successful career.
Absolutely. And then she decided to launch her own cryptocurrency.
Which, as we know, did not go as planned.
Understatement of the year.
Yeah.
So she partnered with Alex Larson Schultz, Doc Hollywood.
Ah, social media personality.
Right. And they brought in Clinton, so from the Over Here platform.
And to top it off, they set up the To the Moon Foundation in the Cayman Islands.
The Cayman Islands, huh?
A popular choice for those seeking, shall we say, favorable tax conditions.
All right. Interesting.
Definitely raises some questions about financial transparency.
Okay, so we've got the team. Now let's talk about the coin itself. The Tuah Girl. It was marketed as a meme coin, which seems to be all the rage these days.
Meme coins are basically cryptocurrencies based on internet trends or jokes. Dogecoin is probably the most famous example.
Right, so they're often driven by hype and speculation rather than any real underlying value.
Exactly, which makes them incredibly volatile. They can skyrocket in price one day and crash the next.
And that's exactly what happened with the Tuah Girl, right?
Oh yeah, big time. I think it debuted with a market cap of almost $500 million.
Really? 500 million?
Yep. And then within hours, it plummeted to under 30 million.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
A classic pump and dump scenario, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, that it was all a big scam to make a quick buck off unsuspecting investors.
Which unfortunately happens a lot in the world of crypto.
Especially with meme coins, it seems.
Absolutely. People get caught up in the hype. They see the price going up, and they think they're going to get rich quick, but they don't realize the risks involved.
And in this case, a lot of those investors were fans of Haley Welch. They trusted her.
Right, and that's what makes these schemes so insidious. They prey on people's fandom and their desire for quick profits.
So what happened next? Did Welch address the accusations?
Well, there was this audio discussion on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter.
Right, X. I still haven't gotten used to calling it that.
Me neither. Anyway, Schultz and so were trying to defend themselves, claiming it wasn't a pump and dump.
But what about Welch? Was she part of the conversation?
She was there at first, but she didn't say much, and then she just abruptly left the discussion.
Hey
source
guys,
of income.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Well, hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Really? Just like that?
Yep. And then she went completely silent on social media for weeks. No posts, no comments, nothing.
Wow. I mean, that's not a good look.
It certainly fueled the speculation that something shady was going on.
So where does Haley Welch fit into all of this? Was she a victim or a perpetrator?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
And it's about to get even more complicated.
Oh, how so?
Because a class action lawsuit was just filed. A lawsuit, huh?
Yeah.
So who are they going after?
Well, that's the interesting part. The suit named Schultz, so over here, and the To the Moon Foundation as defendants.
Wait, so not Welch herself?
Nope. Her name isn't listed as a defendant. In fact, she's actually cooperating with the plaintiffs.
So she's turned against her own partners.
It seems that way. I guess when the HA hit the fan, she decided to distance herself.
Smart move, legally speaking. But it still makes you wonder about her involvement, right? I mean, she was set to receive 50% of the trading profit.
Oh, for sure. It raises eyebrows.
Yeah.
But legally speaking, if she can prove she was misled by her partners, she might be able to escape liability.
So basically, her team is arguing she was just the face of the project and had no knowledge of the shady stuff happening behind the scenes.
Exactly. The lawsuit alleges that Schultz and Sumbry violated securities laws, specifically by manipulating the market to inflate the price of Semaray.
Oh, so we're talking about more than just a pump and dump scheme.
Pump and dump is a form of market manipulation.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're facing some serious allegations. And a key part of the lawsuit centers around the fact that ACOK was never registered with the SEC.
Right, the SEC. You mentioned them before, but could you remind us what they do again?
Sure. The SEC, or the Securities and Exchange Commission, is the main regulatory body for financial markets in the U.S. They're basically the watchdogs, making sure everything's on the up and up.
So they're responsible for protecting investors from fraud and manipulation.
Exactly. One of their key functions is to oversee the registration of securities. So any company that wants to offer stocks, bonds, or in this case, a cryptocurrency to the public has to go through a registration process with the SEC.
And this process ensures that investors have access to all the necessary information about the investment, right? Like the risks involved, the financials of the company, things like that.
Right. It's all about transparency. And because Hawk was never registered, investors were essentially going in blind. They had no way of knowing the true nature of the project or the risks involved.
So the lawsuit is claiming that Schultz and So deliberately avoided registering Health K with the SEC to hide their true intentions.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
And if Welch can prove she was kept in the dark about this lack of registration, that strengthens her argument that she was an unwitting participant.
Fascinating stuff. So it sounds like this case could have major implications for the whole crypto space, especially when it comes to influencer involvement.
Absolutely. If the court rules in favor of the plaintiffs, it could set a precedent for holding influencers accountable for the financial products they promote.
Which is a pretty big deal, considering how much influence these online personalities have these days.
No kidding. But let's not forget about the human element here. There were real people who invested in Hawk, people who lost money, potentially their life savings.
Right, and a lot of them were fans of Haley Welch. They trusted her.
It just goes to show how important it is to be cautious when it comes to investing, especially when it involves something as volatile and unregulated as cryptocurrency.
Absolutely. But before we get too deep into that, there's one more thing I wanted to touch on. When Welch resurfaced online and announced her cooperation with the lawsuit, something strange happened.
What was that?
The price of Hawk actually spiked for a short period.
Really? After all that had happened?
Yeah, it was brief, but it was a noticeable jump. Almost like her reappearance gave some investors a flicker of hope.
It's a testament to the power of influencer marketing, even in the midst of a scandal.
I guess some people were hoping she could somehow salvage the situation.
Maybe they thought she would use her influence to pressure her partners into making things right.
Or maybe they just missed seeing her online and were happy she was back. Who knows? But it goes to show how complex this whole situation is. We've got legal battles, financial intrigue, and the emotional roller coaster of influencer fandom all wrapped up in one. So it seems like Welch's return, at least temporarily, had a positive impact on the coin.
Right, but it was short-lived. Ultimately, her reappearance didn't change the underlying issues with Hawk.
Yeah, it just goes to show how quickly things can change in the world of crypto.
Absolutely, it's a very volatile market.
I think this whole situation really highlights the power of influencer marketing, especially in the financial space.
It does raise some important questions about the responsibility influencers have to their audience.
I mean, people trust these online personalities. They see them as relatable, authentic, even friends.
And that trust can be easily exploited, especially when it comes to financial products.
Exactly. So what can we learn from all of this? What are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's a reminder to be cautious
Cautious
about investing in anything based solely on an influencer's recommendation.
Right. Just because someone you like is promoting a product doesn't mean it's a good investment.
Exactly. Do your own research.
Yeah.
Understand the risks involved.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially when it comes to something as volatile as cryptocurrency.
That's good advice for any investment, really. Diversify your portfolio.
And what about the influencers themselves? What responsibility do they have in all of this?
I think it's crucial for them to be transparent about their partnerships.
Like disclosing if they're being paid to promote something?
Absolutely. And not just a generic sponsored post disclaimer. They need to be upfront about the nature of the relationship, how much they're being compensated, and any potential conflicts of interest.
So basically, treating their audience with respect and honesty.
Exactly. And they need to understand the products they're promoting, especially when it comes to something as complex as cryptocurrency.
So it's not enough to just slap your name on something and say, hey, buy this.
Right. Influencers should be educating their audience, encouraging them to do their own research, understand the risks.
I mean, ultimately, shouldn't they be promoting things they genuinely believe in?
Ideally, yes. But at the very least, they should be upfront about the potential downsides, not just highlighting the potential rewards.
And what about the platforms these influencers operate on? Do they have any responsibility?
I think the platforms need to do more to regulate influencer marketing. especially in the financial space.
Like putting stricter guidelines in place.
Right. And maybe even implementing some sort of verification process to ensure influencers are promoting products responsibly.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be more accountability all around.
Absolutely. And it's not just about protecting investors. It's about preserving the trust between influencers and their audience.
Because once that trust is broken, it's really hard to get it back.
Right. It's kind of like the old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Okay, so to recap, be cautious, do your research, and don't blindly trust anyone, even your favorite influencer, when it comes to your finances.
Excellent advice. And remember, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Always a good rule of thumb. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of influencer marketing, meme coins, and the wild west of cryptocurrency.
It's certainly a cautionary tale,
Yeah.
but hopefully it's also a learning experience for everyone involved.
Definitely. And for all of you listening out there, thanks for joining us. Stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay safe out there in the digital world.